So we have some really good news, some special news, some very unique news, that's specific to your community, Peninsula Lakes, and another, you said Lightship Cove.
Yeah.
Lightship Cove also.
So we got a call from our manager, and she wanted to test out a new incentive to see if it would move the needle and help some people out.
Okay.
So she said, hey, why don't we offer a 2-1 buy down, which is a really fancy way of saying you're going to have a 2% reduced interest rate for the first year and a 1% reduced interest rate for the second year.
Yeah.
And then the remaining term of the mortgage would be at whatever the interest rate is, the prevailing interest rate at the time. So she increased our incentive from $14,500, which it's been for a while, to an additional $5,500, bringing it up to $20,000, and
Wow.
and that's on top of the $10,000 platinum incentive that you get when you use our preferred lender and title company. And on top of splitting transfer taxes, which we do for every sale and every customer, and most builders don't do that. So what's unique about this is we're advertising it right now as a 4.99% interest rate, which is phenomenal, right?
Sure, yeah.
And we're really thinking, not all of our customers take mortgages, believe it or not. They're paying cash for the new home. And I know that seems weird to me, especially, but it's very normal for our customers, because what they're doing is they're selling their homes up north in their high tax states.
Yep.
And they're taking that cash and they're paying for their new house in cash, which is great. So they don't necessarily need a mortgage. But there are people who need mortgages. Not everybody is fortunate enough to have, several $100,000 to spend on a new
We're not
home.
talking about, a suit or some sneakers.
Right.
It's a lot of money.
And there are also some people who are ready to get that beach house, but
Sure.
they're not quite ready to retire. So they got a few more years they got to put in, or a year or whatever it might be, before they're ready to retire. So what they're hoping to do is get that beach house now, and maybe use it as their own beach house on the weekends, or even rent it out. So they're looking to acquire the property now and then move into it later when they eventually retire. And for
Sure.
those folks, they need a mortgage, right? They're like, I don't want to take all that money out of my 401k. I want to borrow that money and I'll pay it off when I eventually sell my house, which is no problem. So for those people, they can get a 4.99% interest rate. Now, it's 4.99% now. However, if interest rates come down, if they go from 6.99%, which is where we are today, down to 4.99%, we're still going to buy that down 2%. So if it's at 4.99%, your interest rate is going to be 2.99%.
And by coming down, you mean obviously if they sign the contract today and the rates are 6.99, some people think that they lock their rate in now. They don't. They lock their rate in roughly a month or so before they close on the house, which could be, 6 months or 8 months, depending on lots and locations or whatever. So if rates come down then, wherever they are, you're still going to be, they're going to get that 2% buy down. And that is over 2 years. There's a reduction in the way that the rate works.
Yeah, exactly. So they call it a 2-1 buy down, but essentially what we're doing is we're taking your interest rate. We are paying 2% of the interest up front.
Okay.
For the first year. And then 1% of the interest for the second year. And then the rest of the mortgage is normal. So for that first year, whatever the interest rate is when you lock it in, we're going to pay 2% to reduce it. So
wow.
Yeah. So it's a really good deal. If you're sitting on the fence and you're saying, hey, listen, I'm not quite ready to retire yet, or I want to get that beach house, but I wanted to wait until rates came down a little bit. Now is the time to do it, because you can get this buy down. And when rates do come down, or when you do retire, you can either refinance the mortgage or you can pay it off. There's no prepayment penalty with Henlope Mortgage, our preferred mortgage lender.
Yeah.
They even have a recast option where if you, let's say you borrow 80% of the value of your new home, and you don't want to carry that big mortgage for your retirement. You're like, hey, I just need this mortgage until I retire, and then I sell my house. I'm going to take $450,000 and throw it at the mortgage.
Sure.
If you do that in a normal circumstance, what that's going to do is nothing.
Just it knocks down your principal.
It does. It knocks down the principal.
It doesn't change your monthly.
And reduces the term of the mortgage because you'll have it paid off sooner.
Sure.
But it doesn't change your payment.
Correct.
So what we offer is not only no prepayment penalty on your mortgage, but we also offer this recast option, which you can do. And you can talk to Henlope and Mortgage, our mortgage specialists, and they can tell you all about the nuances of the program. But essentially what it does is allows you to take that $450,000 and reduce the principal of the mortgage and re-amortize the mortgage. So basically recalculate it.
Yeah.
So it allows you...
Based on that big chunk that you put on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that now you have a mortgage based on the much lower principal amount. And of course, you can pay it off sooner if you like, but it brings that payment down to a much more manageable level that you can basically carry in retirement without it being a huge burden.
But it doesn't change the original terms of the loan, which is the difference between a recast and a refi.
Yeah, so a refinance is a whole brand new mortgage, whether it's with the same company or a different company. What you're doing is starting from the very beginning.
So if you have paid off 5 years and you refinance, you're back to 30 or 40, whatever you decided.
Assuming you do a 30-year, because you could also do a 10-year or a 15-year if you prefer.
But it's going to be a brand new, whatever the new terms are. This is all the framework of your mortgage is the same. They just take, you put a big chunk on, we're going to look at the principal interest factors and recalculate it based on that new number.
Exactly.
That
and every time you do a mortgage, there's lots of paperwork involved, right? With attorneys coming in and having to record all this information with the county and all the authorities to make sure that all of this information is properly recorded. Now, with the recast, you don't have to re-record everything. All you have to do is reassess and re-amortize it.
Yeah.
So the mortgage is relatively the same. So you save the money of having to refinance and redo the entire mortgage.
Buying points again and whatever the fees that go along, origination fees and all that, because you've already paid it because it's still the same mortgage.
But the big picture, I think, Cory, is we are super flexible.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to get lost in the details of the numbers because the numbers are phenomenal, right? But not everybody is a numbers person, right? Not everybody will see 4.99 and think, wow, that's fantastic.
Sure.
Although it is, we know it is because we're in the business and we help people get mortgages, but 4.99% doesn't mean much to everybody. So what I think the most important thing that we need to get through to people is we are super flexible. Schell is a unique builder, and Peninsula Lakes is an amazing community, but we are so flexible. If you come to us and you say, hey, listen, here's my situation. I want to accomplish this, that, and the other. We can help you do that, but we can't help you do that if we don't hear what your goals are.
Yep.
So if you say, hey, listen, here's my situation, here's what I need to do, here's what's holding me up, we can find and tailor a unique scenario that makes it work for you and helps you accomplish your goals, whether that be, getting that lower interest rate or using that money towards closing costs because you've got you'll have more cash in the future, but you don't have the cash now, or using it, purely towards options, if that's what you want to do, or whatever it is that you're hoping to do, we will help you find a solution. Molly and I, we're not in the real estate business like you are. We do sell for Schell homes, but we don't help people find rentals and things like that. But we will, help you in any way we can.
Yeah, no, I agree completely.
Yeah, to accomplish your goals. We've called moving companies. We've helped people find storage. We've helped people find rentals. Not necessarily, we don't represent anybody in the transaction, but we've made phone calls and said, hey, do you take small dogs?
Sure.
So we will go to bat for you. And we will do whatever we can to help you accomplish your goals of getting a new quality of life, a new lifestyle, the next chapter of your life getting going here at the beach area.
Yeah, and I think that it's it's a creative way, number one, of making people feel a little bit more comfortable with this, especially for someone that's maybe, to your point, maybe they're a year out and they're like, I don't know, is it worth waiting or not? And, well, I tell clients all the time, one thing to consider always, you should always keep in the back of your mind with new construction, time always equals money.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah. Like it's just kind of the nature of the beast. I can't think of a time that new construction prices in particular went backwards.
Yeah.
So if you wait, either it's going to be the base price goes up or the lot premiums go up or options or wood or whatever it is, who knows, what's going on that could increase the prices. So yes, you can wait a year or two, and the rates come down, and now your base price is up. And so it's like, did you really accomplish the goal that you're looking for? So, but I understand that if that's the only option, maybe that's what you have to do. Whereas this is a vehicle that allows you to purchase now with today's pricing, with potentially tomorrow's rates.
Yeah, absolutely. 4.99%. It really reduces that payment significantly.
Yeah.
And we
2% is
so much of our customers, are very savvy and they're like, well, show me the bottom line, because there's so many costs and transfer taxes and this and that and the other. And when you're shopping different builders, sometimes it's hard to kind of get all that information and make a fair comparison.
Sure.
Except for the bottom line. Yep. The bottom line is how much cash is coming out of your pocket and what is your monthly payment. That's really the bottom line.
Sure.
And obviously, you need to get a house that fits your needs. You need to get a house that fits your budget. You need to get a house that excites you in a community that's going to be fun and is going to be worthy of the next chapter of your life. But in order to do that, you've got to be able to afford it. And you've got to have that bottom line work for you. And we'll show you the bottom line. And the bottom line here is it's either 4.99% interest or I've got $55 extra $100 that I can use however it's going to make the most sense for you.
Sure.
And we are flexible and we are ready to help. And that's the biggest thing. We listen. When you come into our office, people are kind of confused because they do a lot of talking. They expect to come in and get hammered by some salesperson who's going to tell them, why they need to buy today and do this. That's not what we do. What we do is we listen.
Yeah, there's a difference.
We listen and we try to help you find solutions that you can choose from.
Well, and to that point, and it's something that I think I say it a lot, and I think that I think it's also why the relationship, tends to work with kind of, my team, the Compass, Cory Mayo Team's, our philosophy, and Schell's philosophy is, I always say, I think that we do a phenomenal job with there's a difference between listening and hearing, and we listen. I think a lot of people hear. And they hear because they're just trying to figure out what's the next thing I'm going to say. And they don't actually listen to what their client says. I'm really looking for a red house. Oh, okay, cool. What do you think about this blue house? And it's like, you didn't listen to what I'm saying. And I think that you guys have that similar philosophy. And you really do take the time you don't try to posture and look at how smart I am and how long I've been in the industry. It's all about the client. It's about you always, and our job is to try to help make you as happy as possible and find your.
At the end of the day, that's what we're here for. We're here to listen. We're here to help you accomplish your goals. We're not here to sell you something that doesn't make sense for you. That doesn't work for anybody. Schell is an amazing company, and Chris Schell, his goal is to create ecstatic customers. He wants people who rave about Schell and are so happy, and we don't accomplish that by selling you something that doesn't work for you.
Sure.
We accomplish that by listening to you, helping you understand. Not everybody understands their goals when they walk in the door, right? They just know that they want to move. So we ask a series of really poignant questions, and we try to get people to critically think about what's important to them, what didn't work for them in their last, in their current house, what they're hoping is going to work differently in their new house, whether it be a bigger kitchen or wider hallways, and maybe somebody's, now handicapped that they weren't before, whatever it is, things change, times
Sure.
change, people change, needs change. And we try to help people assess their current situation and what they really want their future to look like.
Sure.
And we try to help them accomplish that. And we try to make them ecstatic customers because those are the people who tell other people about Schell, and primarily our business comes from referrals and from real estate agents.
100%. I mean, I can't tell you how many clients of mine have referred friends. They're like, they come down, they visit, and they're like, "Wow, this is a beautiful, or it's amazing. Love the community," and they start talking about the experience, and they're happy. And so, they're like, you should call Cory and figure out, because they're like, "We want you to come down, but maybe not live in the community that we live in. We want you close, but not too close. So Cory will help find you a better community." but it is, and I think that you guys do a phenomenal job with it. And this is a perfect example of, number one, being creative and thinking of ways to try to help and kind of bridge the gap between people that are thinking about it now and and in the future. And there's something that I want to kind of make a point on, is that this isn't like an adjustable rate mortgage.
Oh no, not at all.
It's very, in theory,
it's a fixed rate mortgage. I know a lot of people get scared with those adjustable rates. That's not what's happening here. You have a 30-year fixed mortgage. However,
you're just kind of paying it.
You're
paying that part up front.
We're going to pay 2% of whatever your mortgage is for the first year. And we're going to pay 1% for the second year. So the net result is your first 2 years are going to be at a reduced payment because we are paying that interest up front.
In theory, it's still a 6.99. You guys have just front loaded 2% of that interest.
It is.
On their behalf.
That's right.
So it's not an adjustable rate, and 2 years later, it's going to be at a market rate and it's 10% or whatever it is. It is you're basically signing, a mortgage at 6.9, whatever the rate is, and then you guys are going to pay 2% of that up front.
And we always
very
say
clear.
You're marrying the home, but you're dating the rate, right?
Yes. Yep.
So what you're going to do is, in 2 years after our buy down is complete, right after our first 2% year and our second 1% year, after we've bought down the rate the first 2 years, on the third year, if the interest rates are down in the 4% range,
refi.
Absolutely. Yep. You just refinance it.
And if it's not, and if it's, if they're higher, again, you got a fixed rate mortgage for 30 years, and it's good. And if you sold your house, just recast, keep that loan, keep that current rate, recast your numbers based upon that big chunk that you put down, and you're off to the races.
Yeah. The bottom line is we're super flexible, but this buy down, this 4.99% interest rate, is going to help those people who are saying, I wish rates were lower because I'd do something now. Well, don't wish. Let's do it. Let's make this happen for you, because Peninsula Lakes is in a very, very unique phase. We are in the sweet spot, if you will, because our community of 660 homes is down to 36 homes. And we've got some.
This is it. This is the final phase.
There's no more. Yeah. We've got wooded home sites. We've got huge home sites that back to open space. We have home sites that have extra open space next to them. We've got home sites that back to open space and have a water view. So whatever it is that you are looking for, Peninsula Lakes is the perfect opportunity for you to find it, because we have great availability. We have all of the amenities completed. For $255 per month, you get all of your grass cutting taken care of for you, your trash removal taken care of for you. You get a pool with a lazy river.
I was like, not a pool.
A lap pool.
You get a pool.
A splash zone. It all overlooks a fishing pond with a fishing pier. We have a massive gym. We have a clubhouse that has billiards and ping pong and
shuffleboard.
Yeah, the shuffleboard. And we also have an activity director, and they do yoga, and they do line dancing, and they do exercise classes. They take trips. They have wine nights. They do parties. It's just such a fun group of people enjoying themselves, enjoying this chapter in their lives. It is not a 55 plus community, so anybody can purchase there. But I think what you'll find is predominantly our clientele is all retiring from the Northeast in general, very general terms. They're coming down. They're saying, hey, this is where I want to spend the next chapter of my life. It's lower in taxes. It's a lot less expensive. There's no sales tax when you go shopping. There's no tax on my Social Security income. So it's a win-win for most people because it is still close to New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, where they're coming from.
Yeah.
But now is the perfect time to be buying in Peninsula Lakes. You don't have to sit around waiting for construction to happen. You don't have to try to picture what it's going to look like when there's a clubhouse. Everything's there. And we didn't even touch on the tennis, the pickleball, the horseshoes,
bocce
the
ball,
the dog parks, the nature walk, the proximity to shopping. You can walk to the grocery store.
Yep.
You've got 3 grocery stores within a mile. So everyone's like, gosh, they come to Delaware from New York and New Jersey and Maryland, and they're like, they think, oh my gosh, am I going to be out in the middle of nowhere? What is Delaware? Do I need my passport to get into Delaware? It's just like home, especially Peninsula Lakes.
Yeah.
So instead of being out in the middle of a field somewhere where you might feel like that, like you've just gone into a whole nother country, you're right in the middle of everything. It's a super convenient area with all of your conveniences right next door, and you're only 13 miles from the beach. Perfect place, perfect time, perfect way to do this.
Yeah, and you're also right around the corner from the bay for boating. So if you're into boating, you got, a number of options for either launching if you want to store your boat somewhere and then, launch it yourself in the public boat launch, or there's slips that you can keep your boat. So it's convenient from that point. You're also a little bit off the beaten path from like Route 1 where a lot of the traffic is. So you're away from the hustle and bustle. Plenty of dining and fun. You got Paradise Grill around the corner. The one thing is funny. I had a client who retired down here, and we were talking about all the stuff that, all the activities, and she's a little bit more reserved, and she goes, I love everything about this. I love I don't know if this is the right community because I'm not going to be doing all that kind of stuff. And I was like, when you feel like it, you do it. And when you don't, you don't. So you don't have to engage when there's events that are going on in the clubhouse, but it's really cool to have it there. And she loved the idea and the concept of it being there. She's like, I just don't want to feel like I have to. I'm like, then don't. And she absolutely loves it. She loves living there. And it's cool because there's some communities to where I wish that there was that. And it's much easier to have it and not use it than want it and it's not there. Yeah. Try to create the culture in your new community of like, why don't we start to do things there? So it's neat that it's already there. And again, just do it. And the biggest problem that I find with Peninsula Lakes is whenever I'm in there, it's like by the time I'm leaving, like my right arm's hurting because I'm like waving, like everyone's like waving. I'm like, oh hi, because everyone's super nice and kind.
Yeah.
It's a really fun community to be in. Even just, and I don't live there, just driving through with clients. I think people have a good time there.
Well, I think it's also a testament to us being upfront and good to our customers, because when you drive through a community and they see the salesperson and they wave, as long as they've got all 4 fingers waving, you know that we've done something right. We've done right by the people. Our customers are awesome.
Yeah.
They really are. And you're right. It's great to have all those amazing amenities. Even if you don't want to use them yet, what you're going to find is that you're going to meet neighbors, you're going to start talking to them, and you're going to get integrated into the community in a fun way, and you're going to be happy it's there. You're going to look back and laugh.
Yeah, and look, things happen in life, and even if you're not going to be using the amenities, or you find that you don't use them as much as maybe you thought, just because you decided, I don't know, you love your house that much, you don't want to leave it a bunch. Things happen, and maybe you end up having to move back for family, back to Jersey, New York to family to help out, or whatever reason things happen. And so now you get to sell a house that's in like a resort style community, which is fantastic. So it really allows everything to kind of fire on all cylinders. It's a great scenario. 1 basement lot left.
1 basement home site remaining. Yeah, home site 196 is our last basement home site. It's a gorgeous home site. It doesn't look great on the map because all of those lots make everything look like they're on top of each other. But
these are lots, not homes.
That's not the house. That's just the home site.
Here,
yeah. So that is a great home site. It's right next to the path to take you to the clubhouse. So you can have a gorgeous basement there, and you can walk to the clubhouse and go to the community events and parties and gym, and then walk yourself home. And it's super convenient there.
And this is like Cory Way. These are like all my clients.
That is Cory.
I feel like
we're going to rename it Mayo Path. Yeah, no, you have a ton of clients.
No,
there.
it is a great lot, a great road. It, brings you right up to the dog park right here, which is, if you've got pets, it's nice to have, a large and small separated dog park, which is cool. And, you've got tennis
and
here.
That's based on attitude, not size, by the way.
Yeah. It's my 4-pound Yorkie might want to be in the big.
Right.
Big
No,
park.
I've got one of those too. Not a Yorkie, but a 14-pound dog who thinks she's 80 pounds.
Yeah. Well, and another thing, a lot of communities nowadays, they're doing tennis and pickleball is obviously all the rave, and they're relining, maybe 2 pickleball courts, and then they have it lined for a single tennis court. This is separate. Tennis courts and then pickleball is up here. So, so there's
pickleball is the thing now, isn't it?
It is the thing.
People really get into that, and I think it has to do with
less movement.
It's definitely, you don't have to be super athletic to be good at it.
Yeah,
you just have to be,
you're not running and reaching and diving, and so it's
become a really big thing.
And you get the pavilion here. There's just so much in the community. So I think that's good. And again, this is the last hurrah for Penn Lakes.
36 home sites. I mean, if you're like, hey, listen, I want to be in Peninsula Lakes, you don't have to do it necessarily today, but you do want to do it soon.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that these are still available. These are really big in the back, and there's all this common space that's available over here. They're fantastic home sites. I mean,
they're great home sites. So here's the thing is right now we have nothing but great home sites.
Yeah.
So that's why you see so many great home sites available, is because when we released all these home sites, there's so much choice, right? So when we have 5 customers, they pick their favorite home site, and there's still 36 other great home sites available. There's not a bad home site in the community.
But, and this is Courtyard Series homes. So people are watching this. This is the home sites you're going to see at Welch's Pond and Miralon and Walden. But this is, $545,000 lot premium.
It's ridiculous how low the premiums are in our community.
You got trees back here. You've got open space for $5,000. You have an easement in between you, so you got extra space between you. This should be.
I'm willing to bet that's the next one that sells.
It should be. Because that is I started this series, and I need to do another one I call them hot lots. And this is a hot lot. I mean, for $5,000, that is a lot of home site and it's fairly wide. So I'm sure you can probably you could probably do a Chesapeake on that.
So not only a Chesapeake, also a Mayberry. Some of the bigger footprint houses. I just did a lot fit for somebody who was looking at that the other day, and there was room for the Mayberry and then some. So absolutely lots
550,
of room.
Tons of open space, real wide in the back.
That Legion Road, by the way, that Legion Road only goes to our community. It goes to the American Legion. It goes to our community and just that little group of homes at the bottom. So there's just very, very few cars that are coming down Legion Road. Predominantly, they're just people in our community. So
and where does this take you to?
It takes you right to 24. And 24 is the road that John J. Williams Highway. It takes you all the way to Rehoboth or all the way to Millsboro.
Trying to see
Penn Lakes
where on John J. Williams it comes out at. I forget. I don't know. But no, I mean, I think that is... again, it just kind of speaks to the community in general. It's a shame to see it come to an end. But
it's not at an end yet.
What a great way to go out with a low rate. So if you're going to do it, let's do it.
There's no better time to purchase. Also, I want to just mention this. This is kind of something that I haven't even talked to Molly about yet. But we're going to do a happy hour.
Oh, cool.
On March 15th. So if you are interested in coming down, come down on March 15th. Wear your green, because whoever has the best green kind of St. Patrick's Day type outfit, we're going to give them a $100 gift card to any restaurant they want. Or if they tell us what kind of food they like, we'll pick the best restaurant in that genre.
What if some great Irish dancers came and performed? That would be cool.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? I mean, if we could advertise
I know a couple.
Do you? That'd be a lot of fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah, so maybe bring the girls.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to do that on the 15th. Come on down, meet the neighbors, try the community on for size, have a few beers with us, and maybe win a $100 gift certificate to a local restaurant. Really kind of immerse yourself. I mean, okay, it's a $100 gift certificate. whoopee. But no, what I'm just saying is it's a great
Meeting
opportunity
neighbors
to feel
and-
it.
Yeah. What's and they can ask neighbors questions that you and I can't answer.
Yeah,
Like
very
what
true.
is life like on Tuesday? What are people like here? What are whatever? What's the average age? What's the average whatever? We can't answer those legally. So like just talk to people and say, where did you move from? Oh, you moved from, it's funny. Most people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, you're like 2 towns over from where I'm moving
exactly.
from, which is fun. And then if you decide that it is somewhere that you want to call home, you can like when you move in, you already have friends because you're going to start this kind of communication. It's funny. I actually have 2 clients that one bought and one has not yet. It's been about 2 years. They'll come down. They'll go out to dinner.
Yeah.
They just met at the model one day, and I ended up taking both of them over to the clubhouse to show them the clubhouse, and they've stayed in touch and they're like friends. And like one doesn't even live in Delaware, and so it gives you the ability that when you move in, the people are showing up there like with a pie, like because they know you already know them. They're like ready to welcome you into the community. So it's fun. That's awesome. So to sum it up, your rate minus 2% for the first year, and then minus 1% for the second year, and then whatever your rate is after that. And again, this is not an adjustable rate mortgage. This is whatever your standard rate is, and Schell Brothers is just going to be paying roughly 2% and 1% of that up front, and then you just kind of go on and decide what you want to do after that. I think it's I don't want to say genius because this is something that banks are doing. They're offering 3 1s and 2 1s. It's a nice way for people to be able to get into a house, but it costs them money to do that. So you guys are doing it on their behalf. So
yeah,
awesome.
absolutely.
Kudos to you guys again for doing something creative and doing something to help people get into their dream house or get down here, maybe earlier than what they thought that they would be able to get down here. And for those that are watching, give me a call and I'll bring them in and we'll make their dreams come true.
Pretty good summary. Yeah, please go to penlakes.com if you'd like to learn more information about Peninsula Lakes, and please call Cory. And get a tour of the area. There's nobody who knows the area like Cory does. He'll take great care of you, and his team here is the best. So
Awesome.
Thank you, Cory.
Awesome. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
All right.